Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So we've had a lot of stuff that's been going on since last year when this craziness with COVID started. There's been a lot of mayhem, a lot of things that have come along that have changed our world forever. One of the things that I have noticed is, I thought that COVID in the beginning was going to be a major problem. It seemed to be. I knew that it was a bioweapon from China, from Wuhan labs, and that they got it from Fort Detrick. So I've been saying this all along. The other things that I've been pointing out is that, in the beginning, I was pointing out what the death numbers were going to be, and I was nailing it all the way, a month out. I'd be like, okay, on this day, it's going to be this many people die from this, blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, they did. So eventually hydroxychloroquine came in, and we got very good at, keeping our own health, very, very, vitamin C, vitamin D, 5 to 10,000 milligrams of vitamin, I think it's milligrams of D. I just take the tablets. So they're very effective. Other things, are out there that, keep your health up. So we've all been sharing that. We've kept our health, very high, very, very good. And, we haven't had a lot of deaths. We've actually had less deaths this last year overall than we normally do overall. So we know that, they've hijacked some of those death numbers and said that they were COVID. So that, even when you take all the deaths and, put them up, we have lower death numbers than usual. Of course, a lot of that is because people are indoors, getting accidents and so forth. People are just more observant, watching what they're doing, watching what they're eating, being very health conscious makes a difference, doesn't it? So over time, it's gonna play out that we're able to stop this thing completely. That's my thoughts. So there are other things that are why was it started in the beginning? Let's look at what General McInerney has said about that. And these are some of the things I've said for a while. Now, some things I've also said was that I saw this thing, a couple years out, long term, there was going to be over 1.5, maybe 1.7 billion people die from this. And I was like, how is that? Over time, I'm like, how is that? Because, this is really not impacting us that much. And what I think it is that thing. All right. So I don't have anyone that I know of in all the circles that I have that knows of anyone. I've heard of a few people here and there have made comments in YouTube chat and stuff like that they know of someone that has died of COVID. Now, was there complications? And then eventually they said, oh, they died for COVID. I don't know. But I do have a lot of people that are telling me there are some serious complications and people dying from that thing. All right. So we've seen a lot of people say that's going to be a very, very major problem going forward. And that remains to be seen. All right. Lieutenant General Tom McInerney, we are in World War III. I've been saying this for a while. We did not have a pandemic. We had a biological attack. There are always bombshells to be dropped whenever Lieutenant General Tom McInerney comes on a show, and today was no exception. He discussed how the Chinese Communist Party, in conjunctions with other nations and the Democratic Party, are engaging in hybrid warfare against the United States. So he goes on to talk about this massive biological attack is then utilized during the election. So goes on to talk about how it wasn't just the sake of destroying the economy. The CCP was targeting the 2020 US elections because President Trump was the only person standing in their way. With Joe Biden in the Oval Office currently, their plans can proceed unimpeded. So he's saying that he got off, he just had absolute evidence that it came from Wuhan lab. and it took down the whole global economy. He said this, this morning without a doubt. So evidently he has more information that confirms this. So he goes to talk about how General McInerney was one of the first to ring alarm bells about technological voter fraud. No, I've said this as well. I've said that back in before 2018, I said if they didn't get hold of voter fraud, that it wasn't going to go well for Republicans, which we know that it didn't. Now, I believe they turned that around a little bit in the last election, and because we see a lot of House seats that were lost by Democrats. Of course, they were able to scam a few more seats in Georgia through massive voter fraud there. So that's a problem. So going forward, they're going to have not only the so-called presidency, which I don't believe they actually do have that, but also the House and the Senate, so they can do whatever they want going forward. General McInerney was one of the first to ring alarm bells about the technological fraud. So I've seen this overseas, guys. I've seen the CIA use this stuff overseas. And he said a CIA program known as Scorecard allows its users to change voting outcomes by hacking into the transfer between local reporting stations and state or national data centers. According to McInerney, it's a small amount, under 3%. So what was their backup if that 3% didn't work? Now, we know that there were special forces guys that basically took down a spot in Germany that was pretty much controlling this information, controlling the scorecard and so forth. It's been proven. A lot of this stuff's come out. He says he served in top military positions on the Secretary of Defense and Vice President of the United States. His insights into the matter are coming at just the right time. Hopefully it's not too late. It is too late because this is old. That was kind of old news. So as things become more clear about the scope and scale of this attack against our Constitution, General McInerney has put it all together in what he calls hybrid warfare by combining biological, cyber, and intelligence warfare techniques. The Chinese Communist Party essentially engaged in a coup that is continuing today. So he says there are other nations involved, according to General McInerney, including Russia, North Korea, and even the Vatican. He described their participation in a massive ballot changing scheme in the early hours. He referenced Scorecard and the 𝗵𝙗 CI technologies that were developed to spy on citizens and governments while also allowing votes to be shifted electronically. So, like I said, I saw this used overseas by the CIA. And, it was kind of shocking when I realized that they were using it here in the U.S. So there's a lot of things that are going to come out, I believe, about the CIA. The CIA will go away. It's going to go bye-bye, like I've said. FBI is going to go bye-bye. And I'm not just talking up my, rear end. I believe this, and I've seen this on a lot of different levels. So that's coming. Those organizations are dead men walking. The amount of information that's going to come out about both those organizations is going to bring them down. So we know that things are happening, guys. A lot of us have seen it. A lot of us are talking about it. And it's, they couldn't, their backup plan was using the COVID to bring in the, mail-in ballots, which were rigged. They were never lawfully allowed. And even though they were not lawfully allowed, they brought them in anyway in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. Some places they stopped the counting because it wasn't going to go in their favor. They'd already mapped out which states needed to be taken down so that they could railroad a coup. So we have been couped. Our nation is under a false flag right now. So there is a foreign government that's basically controlling the puppets that we're seeing on the news. All right. So what's in this COVID? I've heard the test is not a really good thing. Ethylene oxide sterilization based on a gas diffusion process. EO or ETO is capable of sterilizing and rendering products free of viable microorganisms. Sterility occurs when an EO gas molecule reacts with and destroys the microbial DNA. So they use this on a lot of, medical instruments. They use it. I have heard, and it's just rumor, I don't know for sure, that they use it with the CV test. All right. So this fighting CV19, double face of ethylene oxide. So this is from Thermo Scientific. So they're promoting their product, but they're pointing out some problems. The current worldwide pandemic has impacted every aspect of our lives, which we are struggling to bring back to what we consider normal. It's never going to go back to normal. We have seen an impact on our social habits, our way of working, and our economical balance, along with a changed perception on health. Sterilization processes have always been essential for medical device industries, but now they are assuming an even greater relevance for limiting infections, especially in an emergency situation of single-use device shortage. One of the most adopted sterilization processes uses ethylene oxide, a highly reactive, toxic, and flammable gas capable of sterilizing at ambient temperature, preserving those medical devices which cannot be exposed to moisture or high temperatures, like the ones made of polymers, plastics, or those containing electronic components. So it goes on to say the EO sterilization is hazardous, intrinsically hazardous, and carcinogenic on human beings. So it goes on to talk about a little bit more of that. So they're saying that their product is better. It's not carcinogenic, but how many products actually use this? So let's look at what the CDC says. Ethylene oxide may have more health effects than cancer. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention yesterday released a draft toxicity profile of ethylene oxide, ETO, that treats it as a more far-reaching health threat than the Environmental Protection Agency does. So this was back in October of last year. So it says the EPA, Federal Department of Health and Human Services, both consider ETO a human carcinogen. The medical device industry relies on ETO to sterilize about 50% of all devices sold in the US that require sterilization. And I've heard that the test uses that as well. Although most studies of ETO's health effects focus on cancer, the CDC's toxicology profile for ethylene oxide draft tackles other possible health effects of the gas that is used to sterilize millions of medical devices annually. CDC's systematic review of non-cancer hazards includes presumed respiratory, neurotoxicity, genotoxicity, reproductive toxicity, and developmental toxicity, and suspected hematological and endocrine health effects. I can't believe I just said all those words correctly. That's amazing. All right, the agency relied on numerous animal and human studies of inhalation and oral consumption of ETO to reach its conclusions. It also detailed the results of several studies linking ETO to cancer in humans, including breast cancer, leukemia, multiple myeloma, I don't know if that's correct, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and lymphohematopoietic cancers. Woo, that's a good one. And it delved into, it's probably really bad, right? Because it's such a big name. And it delved into the effects of the gas on children and other vulnerable populations, including those at risk of potentially high exposures to the gas. So the microbial reduction in spices accounted for 12% of ETO consumption in the US in 2019. So they're using this to sterilize food as well. and they're using it to sterilize the thing that goes up our nose. All right, so got to be aware. Got to be aware out there, guys. All right, if you're watching this channel, good job. You found me. You're very good. You're like a sleuth. You've made your way here, and because there's lots of things that are blocking you. People are getting basically, unsubscribed. There's huge blackout going on this, but you guys are still making your way here. Love you guys. We're sharing this information. It really makes a difference going forward. If you look at this site, it's 𝙒𝙗𝙤. So there's lots of pirates out there right now, and they're stealing my content and content that I was never able to basically monetize. YouTube never let me monetize, and people are out there taking my videos and monetizing them. It's insane. And then also they're taking that information and just putting it at their own site, saying it's 𝙒𝙗𝙤𝙂 site. It's not my site. It's like, if it doesn't say 𝙒𝙗𝙤𝙂 on it, like you're seeing it right here, it's not my site. So when you guys that are going to be listening to this, it's going to be pirated. So there's going to be hundreds of thousands of you that will probably listen to this on other sites. You don't care? All right, whatever. But if you really want to come to the source, and I appreciate it if you come to the source, come to 𝙒𝙗𝙤𝙂. All right, it makes a difference. So let's look at one of these things. So what's going on in Colorado? Mind control. Yeah, and where's the CIA have? It's probably by now it might be even bigger than the DC area. I knew it was pretty close when I was there. Worked for CIA, but they're doing some nasty things there, just like they do all over the world. Now, within my description box, you get all the information on my different stuff, the Unleashing Intuition courses, EMF optimized protection stuff, the Ascent Nutrition, the Phoenix link, all these things, and of course, the Optimized Tribe. Now, the Optimized Tribe is where pretty much we're all going. We're going behind this wall to basically allow us to talk, like I'm having trouble doing right now. All right. So on that other side of that wall tomorrow, I believe it's at 3 o'clock, we're having 𝗨𝙗. You guys know 𝗨𝙗 is very insightful, sharing great information for decades now. On Sunday at 6 o'clock, we have David Nino Rodriguez joining us. And on Monday, we have the one and only 107. Yeah, so that's going to be Monday at 5 o'clock. So we're having lots of guests come in. We're working on a lot more. So you want to be in the Optimized Tribe. It's definitely, it's the future, because like you're seeing, we're getting shut down everywhere, guys. So everyone's going, behind these walls so that we can share this information. So again, if you want to get into my courses, the first link, Unleashing Intuition Secrets, probably tomorrow is when I will go into releasing a new video for the Ultimate Course Bundle, so that you can get that over time. Because right now, you can't even buy the Ultimate Course Bundle. There's so many of you bought it that I had to shut it down. And so the next Ultimate Course Bundle, you will not be able to get, one-on-one coaching initially, but you'll be able to, buy it over time, probably around $400 or something for, several months. And then you get all my courses. At some point in the future, there's going to be, you get all the courses. You'll get 3 one-on-one coaching again, and you'll get a year-long Optimized Tribe at the premium level. So it's going to be a little pricey, but some of you guys are ready to jump on, I know, because you've told me you are. So that will be the ultimate of ultimates. And as you guys know, everything that I have, the prices keep going up. Why is that? Because they're low right now. You couldn't get this information for a quarter of this price anywhere else. So as the prices go up to meet, some of the real pricing that's out there, it's going to continue to go up, and it's been going up for the last several years that I've had these courses. So one good thing is when you do get the Ultimate Course Bundle, any new courses that I add to it, regardless of what price you get in it at, you'll always get the new courses. And that's just one of the benefits that you have with that. So that will probably come up again tomorrow, where you can buy into that. So look for that tomorrow. So Unleashing Intuition Secrets, Become the Master of Your Reality is where you want to start. And if you're on a budget, hit that Intuitive Warrior, just get an idea what the intuition's all about. And then when you at some point, hopefully when you can, afford some of these courses, you jump in, you get them for life. So whatever you buy them at, if you bought the Unleashing Intuition Secrets back when I had it like $149, you're still able to go in there and get that information, do the meditations and everything. So now it's a little pricier. All right. So that's that. And Lloyd Austin, there was a Google search just recently. If you put in U.S. President 2021, it came up with Donald Trump first because he was the president for a short period of time in January. And then it had Biden. And then it had Lloyd Austin. Lloyd Austin, who is the defense secretary. Wow. So is he maybe still until something transitions? Maybe. So they came out and said, oh, that was a mistake. You can't find it now. You can't even find we made a mistake. It's not even out there. It's been deleted. Nothing, unless you have somebody like me that's basically keeping you in tune and, informed. You're not going to know it. So this guy, I like, when I saw him initially, I was like, this guy looks good. Because the last couple, not including the more recent, stand-in, the Special Forces guy, but the last two, I looked down and I'm like, boy, those guys are bad. I'm looking at Austin here. He looks like a good man. So hopefully that continues and we see some things start to happen soon. Interesting little tidbit, right? Speaking of tidbits, the container ship ran aground, blocking the canal. And what was that container ship? Evergreen. And look at that tugboat right there. Barack. How about that? It's kind of a coincidence, isn't it? That Evergreen, when I was in SEAL Team 6, way back, we used to jump at this place in Tucson, Arizona, Marana. And it was civilian jump place, but we would come in secretively jump there. We jump at night, jump with our oxygen and everything. There was somebody else that was there. It was Evergreen. So they also have aircraft. They move all kind of stuff. And we knew that it was CIA. So yeah, I knew it decades ago. And what do you think is in these containers? Probably illicit stuff, guys, because that's how they move this stuff. They move it through their secret organization, the CIA, which basically is trying to control the world, has been trying to control the world, has done a fairly good job of it, in recent years. So we're going to turn that around. Evergreen was also Hillary Clinton's code word for the Secret Service. They gave her the code word Evergreen. And Evergreen is kind of like that guy. So let's see right here. It shows, here are the secret code names for Trump, Pence, Mogul, and Hoosier. For Hillary, it was Evergreen. What have you? Watch the Water has multiple meanings. All eyes on Evergreen. So it's interesting. Here's somebody said, Hillary should be Teflon. Nothing sticks to her and she'll slowly poison you. Nice one, Rachel. So yeah, there's There's some nice comments in there. I'm not going to read some of them because it's not appropriate for this channel, but we'll move on. So Tarot by Janine. So she does an excellent job. I just recently had a friend that shared her information. Let's listen. So as a remote viewer, I looked at this evergreen thing and I'm like, human trafficking, weapons trafficking, drug trafficking. I think they have it all on that one. And I felt that this was a white hat operation somehow, but I don't know exactly the full details. So it's nice to see someone else that's in, the intuitive community that has their own views. So let's listen a little bit to what Janine has to say.
We've got the Emperor in the reading, and it's underneath what actually happened and who's responsible.
So the Emperor, who do you think that might be? Yes, that would be T.
This side I designated to what, who's responsible. And this is, what's actually going on the ship itself. Okay, so we've got the Emperor, the Knight of Swords. So a military group that would be connected to a military group that would be a very aggressive, assertive military group connected to the alliance. If this was the devil underneath here or the Hierophant, it would be connected to the black hats. This is the white hats. So this is a white hat operation that was they directly were responsible for that boat, that ship getting in the position it was in. Now, I have no idea how they would have done. It's interesting. It almost.
So my thoughts are they weren't just necessarily trying to bring attention to it. There was possibly a struggle on there. And because I used to take down ships at SEAL Team 6. That was our forte. We would practice taking down cruise ships. We would practice taking down all kinds of different ships, military ships, anything, you name it, we take it down and get it under control. And get it under control for U.S., interest. I believe could have been SEAL Team 6 guys got on board here and got information. Got information about what was going on here because they think they're gathering information to basically take down a lot of these organizations, a lot of these people. Some of them have already been taken down. Some of these people have already been taken down. I know that. I keep saying that. You're like, well, where's the evidence? It's going to come, guys. It's going to come in your face big time. Those of us that have eyes to see and, can hear and so forth, that means like on a different level. We've known this for a long time and we've been seeing it. So even though I'm not like General McInerney, he's no longer directly in contact with the military and intelligence services, but having been there, done that on a very deep level, we can see the little things that are going on. Maybe some people like give us a little tidbit here and there, but we can see the things that are happening. We're like, this is going on. Now, I'm not going to disclose everything that's going on because there are operations that are in progress, and it would, disclosing some of this stuff would put some people in danger. But I can see these things. I can remote view them as well. And if I remote view some stuff that's, critical to national security and what's happening, I'm definitely not going to reveal it. All right. Truth is there for those that know how to look. And this is what Janine is doing. She's doing this here.
Looks like somebody secretly got on board the ship. So it feels to me like a fight went on right on the ship itself. Launched this thing or wedged it in this place. I doubt if it just accidentally got wedged there. This is not accidental. There's nothing it doesn't look like a freaky situation that would have just been naturally occurring. This was done, and it was done by white hats. Okay, so it left them vulnerable. So that somebody secretly got on there, or they might have secretly, hacked into, who knows, the navigating system. Somehow something secretly was done.
So one of the things that has to happen is you take down the bridge, you control the bridge. And then there might have been, I don't know, whoever's up there lost control of the bridge, dirted. Usually the guys who take over the bridge know how to steer that any ship. So it might have been purposely put in that position by white hats, to bring attention to it, and also so that they could have a better escape. That's a possibility.
That set these guys on the course that they ended up sideways in this canal. And you can be sure that boat's gone through that canal a lot of times. So it probably, they knew how to not go through there, but something got either hacked or literally a fight might have happened right on board the ship. So that's interesting. Okay, so here we've got the 6. So it's already been corrected, it looks like. But whatever they were after, it looks like right at the just before they got this thing, out of the trouble it was in, the Alliance already got whatever they were trying to get on there. The thing they wanted, they got, and then they let everything just look at, is anything going to come of this? Are we going to hear more about this? Is this going to become public? What was found? Is the footage going to be leaked? What's going to happen going forward after this big incident? What can we expect?
Okay, I have not listened to this part. I knew that it came to this. I was just going to bring us up to this. I can promise you all of this information is coming out. It's being gathered for a reason. They went on there and gathered information for a reason. I have multiple sources that are telling me that this information is being gathered from the dumbs, from some of the people that are confessing, and so forth.
There seems to be several reasons for them. There is signaling going on. That's one of the things. It's also developing evidence against a person. So I'm thinking Hillary, right? Or her and her husband.
So Hillary's gone. Her husband's gone. Billy's gone. So there's a lot of people that are gone. And I'm not going to start naming names because you guys are saying, well, I just saw a post from him. Anyone can do a post. Anyone can do CGI. Anyone can put in a clone or a body double. A lot of these people are gone, guys. So they're gathering more evidence for other people and to tie in all the people they've already taken out.
I can't even say his name. He's such a creep. So those people, that couple, okay, so they're developing a case, but I also get with that 10 of Pentacles, it's also partly a wake up. It's like partly to just get this kind of a story in the news and get everybody talking about it, because the kind of buzz that happened is unbelievable. People were freaking out, okay, because they were, saw with their own eyes how, why is she involved in a shipping company that ships containers that have long been suspected of being a human trafficking? Why is her name on something like that? Why, right? Why would they, that's where they're going to put their money. Okay, so that's just really.
So I don't think Hilly is involved in that company, other than that company, the CIA, is used to puppet her, and somehow that name filtered down to her. Those are my thoughts. I could be, because I've known for a long time, like I said, decades, that Evergreen was CIA, that Evergreen, used to transport all kinds of stuff through their shipping, whether it's through the air or through the sea or through land or whatever, they're shipping stuff through and from, and however they're doing it. It's a multi-armed organization. Now, does that make any money? Evergreen, does it make any money? Might. It doesn't matter though, because the CIA has, if they're transporting, if they're doing human trafficking, with kids, doing that thing where they, use that, they traumatize children and get some product from them, fluids from them. That is part of a massive money-making scheme. So they don't even care if they're making money from a lot of these organizations, because as a front anyway, because on the back end, through the legal stuff that they're doing, they're making massive amounts of money that's being hidden, that's being offshored, that's moving around, that's in crypto. It's all over the place. So you can't find, you know, the real levels of this. It's trillions and trillions of dollars every year, not over time. Every year, these guys make trillions and trillions of dollars through illegal movement of weapons, people, and drugs. All right, and there's probably a lot more that they're making money off of. Probably got their arm deep into that thing as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on, guys, that, you know, when this really starts to pop, when you guys really start to find out the deeper aspect, like I said, I've done a lot of this stuff for decades. It's just now starting to break for some of you, and you're like, well, where's all the evidence? It's like, we're talking about it right now. So it's not going to come out until it comes out in the open, but we're talking about it right now. So stop fighting it. You know, stop doubting that things are going to work in a positive direction. Because I can tell you there's definitely a golden age coming, but we have to go through the dark. It's darkest just before the light. And this dark period that we're going through right now is very traumatic. It's very unnerving for a lot of you, but I mean, look how many people have woken up. Many of you that are following me now have just recently woken up. So it's a fantastic time. All right, let's look at some more stuff. All right, Biden, and we'll just call him Biden because I don't see him as my president, because I don't believe that he is. Biden suffers 4-second mental meltdown, struggles to move on to next question during press event. I don't know how many of you may have seen this, but it was painful to watch.
Been particularly poor at calculating how to get things done in the United States Senate. So the best way to get something done, if you hold near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, we're ready to get.
So this is the boys' first press conference, as you can see. Why? Because they're like, we're going to stick him out there. He's not going to perform well. We got to eventually do it, and here it is.
Done. And if we have to, if there's complete lockdown and chaos as a consequence of the filibuster, then we'll have to go beyond what I'm talking about. Okay, hang on.
All right, so you see he has a notepad here. He's basically, he knows what the questions are. They know what the questions are. They've already done the questions. It's not like a Trump question, you know, and answer period, where he would come out and he get like hammered. He's already got all the questions. The press has been told what questions they're going to ask, and he has notes here to help him answer the questions.
Sorry. Oh, Singman, Miss Kim.
So yeah, there was a lot of that in that whatever press. I don't think it was a press conference, but whatever that was, they tried to you know, manufacture it and front load it best they could, but it wasn't happening. If anyone that has a thinking brain cell will look at that, and they're going to see that there's a massive problem here. So here's more evidence of him using notes.
Thank you, Mr. President. You mentioned your progress on COVID-19. I'd like to ask you about some of the other issues facing your presidency. One of the defining challenges you face in the coming months is how to deliver on your promise to Americans on issues like immigration reform, gun control, voting rights.
So look at this clown town. He's got 2 masks on.
Climate change. All of those right now are facing stiff, united opposition from Republicans on Capitol Hill. How far are you willing to go to achieve those promises that you made to the American people?
Well, I'm going to look. When
All right, so you saw the notebook. He's going to fiddle around with it try and find where he's supposed to be in this thing, because he's even confused with where to find the notes.
When I took office, I decided that it was a fairly basic, simple proposition. And that is, I got elected to solve problems. And the most urgent problem facing the American people, I stated from the outset, was COVID-19 and the economic dislocation for millions and millions of Americans. And so that's why I put all my focus in the beginning. There are a lot of problems, but all my focus on dealing with those particular problems. And the other problems we're talking about, from immigration to guns and the other things you mentioned, are long-term problems. They've been around a long time. And what we're going to be able to do, God willing, is now begin one at a time to focus on those as well. And whether it's immigration or guns or a number of other problems that face the country. But the fundamental problem is getting people some peace of mind so they can go to bed at night and not stare at the ceiling wondering whether they lost their health insurance, whether they're going to lose a family member, whether they're going to be in a position where they're going to lose their home because they can't pay their mortgage, or the millions of people are going to get thrown out of their homes because of the inability to pay their rent. So we're going to move on.
Yeah, keep checking those notes when you start to get a little tongue-tied and twisted. All right, so I mean, you guys see it. It's obvious these guys are rigging this thing. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to share. I'm going to get the oh, we got a nice little group of people watching, so I'm gonna get the love bowl. You guys want the love bowl? Let's get the love. Who wants some love? Everybody wants the love, right? We're gonna get it. All right, get nice and relaxed. Taking a deep breath, and as you take it in, any tension you have in your body, you want to let it go with the exhale. Now let it go. Now take in another deep breath. Any tension you still have left in your body from that last exhale, let that exhale go now. All right, imagine a golden ball of light surrounding you. It is healing and protective. Now let's imagine a golden ball of light going outside of our protective golden ball of light that is going around the world, and all of the unelected officials that are all over the world, because I believe there are thousands of them that were not duly elected, that they are being taken out of the system in the near future, whether through legal means or whether it's through exposure of illegal activities or exposure to voter fraud or whatever it's going to be. Let's see all of these people that were not elected to political status all over the world be completely surrounded by golden light, loving golden light. And this golden light makes them vulnerable, weakens them, allows us to see through their lies and deception easily. and has them exposed to legal proceedings and eventual takedown and being replaced by people of the light that will serve humanity in the correct way through love for others. Now, as you focus on that, imagine it coming to be, coming to pass. All right, now bring your consciousness back to your body. And when you're ready, with your toes and fingers, open your eyes, and lots of love out there to everyone. And we'll see you guys next time.